I guess, realized something was missing in my life. I had a lot of stress. Obviously everybody has stress, but in high school, college, and then my early 20s, I had lots of stress. I got headaches all the time, really bad headaches. And it's funny because I guess the first time I stepped out on faith, I was watching a pastor on television. I don't know why I was watching it because again, I really wasn't going to church. And he was talking about stress and worrying about stuff. And he quoted a famous baseball player. I don't remember who it was, but he said that if you can control a situation, there's no reason to stress about it because you can control it. And if you cannot control a situation, there's no reason to stress about it because you can't control it. So that was the first time I actually prayed. I prayed to God and I asked him to help me take the stress because I was having these headaches, like I said, every day, 2 or 3 times a day. And I didn't have a headache for 9 years after that. So that opened my eyes. And I started going to church a little bit. And I started feeling, I felt welcome, obviously, because all the people there. But I started, I don't know, I guess I kind of felt like something great was going to happen, but I wasn't committed. I would go to church and talk about stuff, but then the rest of the week was, nothing changed. And then, I would say probably in my late 30s, early 40s, I started to, deal with alcoholism. Of course, I didn't know I was alcoholic then, but, I couldn't stop drinking. So one Sunday I went to the pulpit at the end of the service and I was very emotional, crying, and I was asking God, I was just seeing all the things that I was guilty of. I'm not saying I was just tired of it. I was tired of struggling. I was tired of life being so hard. And I still really didn't understand, I guess, just giving it to God, and I was beside myself. I was so emotional, but I still wouldn't stop drinking. And I was asking God to help me everything, help me with all these things. And I wanted, I want to follow him, but I wouldn't give up the drinking. And just a really bad event happened because of the drinking. I lost a lot of things. I lost my job. It's the first time I've ever lost my job. Ended up getting a divorce, lost my house, lost a lot of stuff. And instead of going back to drinking, being angry, I turned fully to God at that point. It's the only way I think I could have got through it. I had suicidal thoughts. I was sick in my stomach for weeks. And, he got me through it. There was one evening in particular, and it super strengthened my faith, and it was kind of a turning point. I was having a hard time giving things to God and not taking them back because I just stressed about everything. And I finally got so upset that I got down on my knees and I prayed and I said, I need help. I can't not take it back. I don't know how to not take it back. And, cause it's easy to ask God to take things from me, but letting go of it, that's the challenge right there. So I just knew I needed to go to I was going to Alcohol Anonymous meetings. At this point, I decided I needed to find a meeting. I need to find one right now because I need help. And I found one that I'd never been to. It was like 4 minutes from where I was at. And it was in like an hour. And I went to this meeting and they always ask what topic. Anybody has a topic. And an older gentleman who's been going for a long time, he decided he wanted to talk about giving things up to God and not taking it back. And I just knew right then and there, God put me in that meeting. So it's like, from that point, I really haven't looked back. I pray all the time and I ask for help with everything I do. Every time I go to a job site, I ask, I pray, ask for help. If things don't go our way, I just ask for patience, calmness, not to get angry. But it's, a lot of people think that I turned to God because I was alcoholic. And the truth is, I wouldn't give up the alcohol. So God helped me. He did what it took, and it wasn't a soft way. It was probably one of the hardest ways that I could think of, bar anybody losing a life, obviously. So I guess I would say the biggest thing that I've learned that has helped me is acceptance. Because I can't deal with the problem until I accept it. Otherwise, I'm just still going to fight it, or I'm going to try to control it. And that just usually makes you more frustrated. I think that was the hardest thing for me to accept was forgiveness. And then finally somebody once said, who are you to, like God forgives you. And I was like, well, I don't feel I'm worthy of forgiveness. Somebody said, well, who are you to decide if you're worthy of that? That's up to God.